magic from him, perhaps. It's a good ball. Grayson. It goes to a Roy. Brilliant save indeed. Wolves has scored. Leicester City are in dreamland now. Vardy in the middle. This could be a huge moment. Vardy scores. And it's pandemonium in Leicester.
Mahrez with his left. Albrighton with his right. It is Mahrez. It's a good ball in. Morgan's there. It's in. Leicester City score. It is a captain's goal from Wes Morgan, who lifted the Premier League trophy in May. He might have played a big part now in taking Leicester City through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League.
Lift the trophy to the skies. Leicester City are the champions of the Premier League. 5,000 to 1.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses for the third time of the day. Maybe there's going to be a fourth and fifth. Who bloody knows? Today it's been a crazy day. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. Of course, it is Monday night, which means it is the live call-in show. Any of you can click the link in the description and come and have your say about anything you want Leicester City related. I'm guessing it's going to be about the manager, but who knows? Who knows? So yeah, get your comments in as well. If you're not calling in, that's absolutely fine. Make sure to get the comments in throughout the stream. Make sure to hit the like button, as I said, and subscribe, and we'll get into it. Let's get through some comments before we go to our first caller, who is going to be Joe. Joe will be the first one today. Here's the link, by the way, if you want to come and have your say. Fun day, not, says Andrew. Frankie says this is easily a Blue Monday, absolutely horrific. Terence, listening to a lot of Gary O'Neill interviews, and he came across quite knowledgeable. Selling £200 million of talent at Wolves didn't help. He does a lot of research. Owen's tweet gives me a glimmer of hope for Danny Roll, but the Wilder thing is a concern. Yeah, let's find that Owen tweet, actually, because it came out since the last stream. Is that the one? No, that's not it. Where is it? Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. So I don't know what to think and what not to think about the Owen Palmer-Atkin tweet, to be honest with you. The BBC are, of course, a bit more reserved with jumping to conclusions and jumping to rumours. So maybe that's why this has been tweeted. Owen hasn't ruled out Roll. He just says, I understand Chris Wilder has been interviewed for the vacant manager's position. The Foxes looking at their options, which includes Gary O'Neill. They are monitoring Danny Roll's situation at Sheffield Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm not really paying too much attention to that one, if I'm honest, but who knows? Who knows? John says, with all that noise, I'd be happy with any manager. This roundabout is driving me crazy. Hassan Hootel over O'Neill. Jesus Christ, Gary O'Neill, it can't get worse. It can. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I had a hot dog. It was very nice. Thank you. Very, very nice. If it is O'Neill, then he'll need a strong number two. Him, Powell, Kingy, and the set-piece coach get a goalkeeper coach, and it would be an option. I think the set-piece coach is already gone, no? If you're on about the Sheffield Wednesday one. Oh, no, that maybe I'm thinking of the goalkeeper one left. Every manager in the game will have more intel on what's going on at Leicester, hence the reason anyone half decent will never be interested. From everything we've heard, though, that the reason Roll isn't coming isn't because of Roll, it's because of they don't want to pay the money. So, but yes, it does sound like Dyche is pulled out. Which, interestingly, John Rudkin's dad should have done as well 60 years ago. Anyway, now Hughes is still here. Andrew Hughes, yeah. What are O'Neill's coaching team? This is it, man. Does he even have I bet he doesn't even have a backroom start. It's gonna be fucking Rude 2.0, isn't it? What happened with him? Right, let's go into the call-in show anyway. That's enough of my voice for a while. We're gonna get Joe's voice instead. Let's get him in. What's going on, mate? How are you?
You're all right, Locks. You're all right. I mean,
all good, mate.
You've got to prepare me when you say something like that about John Rudkin, man. I was just
his dad should have pulled out. Yeah,
should have cracked up. I mean, I don't know what to say with you, mate. I mean, you know, we've discussed on this show plenty of times that my views are very much aligned with yours. So I do feel like me talking to you tonight is a bit like an echo chamber, because it's not. I don't really disagree with a lot of what you say. However, I mean, I said in the comments earlier in one of your videos that the O'Neill Wilder is like obviously having nails in one hand, sandpaper in the other, and just which one would you rather wipe your ass with? Do you know what I mean? It really is like that, and it feels like that. I mean, I out of the two, if you had to force me, if I had a gun to my head, obviously I'd choose O'Neill. I don't want Wilder anywhere near the club. Just absolutely not. I think he's arrogant. His style of football is just not for me. I mean, we shouldn't be touching him with a barge pole, but obviously I've been doing a bit of reading about this Wasser stuff, and it's just
Wasserman.
The club's Wasserman. It's the club's a joke. It's just a joke, and you know, to go from the highs all week and hoping and praying that we were going to see an emergency stream from yourselves about Danny Roll being appointed. I just feel so dejected today, man. It's just the fact that Wilder and O'Neill seem to be the two front runners. It just I don't know what to say. I'm just. Everything at the moment with the club is an absolute mess. It's an absolute joke, and it's just they're taking the mick. And I'm sorry, but 100%. You'll see it. You'll see it next season. You'll see the sponsor next season, and I just feel like anybody who is trying some copium and saying this is a good idea for the club. I can guarantee you either one of those, maybe I'd put odds on money that either one of them would be sacked by Christmas, if not Christmas at the latest. I just feel that way. And I don't have confidence either of those two could get us up with the situation we're in.
It's funny you mentioned the copium. I'm trying, Joe. I did find myself going with a bit of copium earlier today. And I said, I'll get behind O'Neill. Well, I'll get behind O'Neill. I mean, to be fair, I didn't get behind Cooper one bit. I mean, I was fucking get Cooper.
No, that's where we were different. I did try with Cooper.
Yeah, but I feel like I will with O'Neill, to be fair. I feel like I'll get behind it. It's just really, really, really disappointing. Really disappointing.
Yeah.
I find it sad. I find it sad that we have fallen that hard that we are sat here on the 7th of July with O'Neill and Wilder as our two options.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it just shows how far the club's fallen. And I was talking to you a couple of weeks ago about it, but I was watching the stream earlier with you talking to Manny, and I swear to God, I nearly punched my TV. I mean, I love Manny. He really has different opinions to me, but he speaks as if what he's saying is fact. Sometimes, and that's what's frustrating. It is frustrating, and maybe it's his way of coping. We all have our own ways, and he does try, and he does make me feel better at times. But yeah, I can't back this board anymore. I want them to go, and I never thought I would say that. With the 10 years that we've just had, I never thought in a million years that I would say that. But we need a new direction. I've got no idea what that looks like, but it's just the fact it's this, like you say, 7th of July, 34 days before the new season. We've been relegated. Well, no, we've been relegated since Christmas. Like, let's not bat around it. You can
78 days though. It's officially 78. Yeah, crazy.
Officially, and I know obviously a lot of this has already been spoken about, but the frustration, I'm a hardened Leicester fan. I've been this much passionate and this much of a follower since I was 6 years old, when Walker Stadium first came out. Went to one game at Filbert Street. I've been following this club for all my life. And yeah, I mean, this picture enraged me as well. I mean, it's an absolute joke. They don't care. I mean, it's just. I know, we're going to have callers on tonight who have followed the club for longer than I have, for the same amount of time as I have. And when you see people like that, and you followed the club probably since you were a little kid, it's embarrassing. it's embarrassing and it's hurt. It hurts because at the end of the day, they can sell up, they can fuck off, right? They can fuck off. Players can come and go, right? We are going to be here, whatever's left. And basically what's happening at the moment is they are burning everything down and then going, oh, do you know what? We made an absolute disaster of that. Yeah, exactly. Cheap.
Yeah, man, that's how it feels to me. And, we keep seeing today, mate, these role is complicated. I mean, the only complicated thing about it is that they're going to have to pay. Clearly, that's what the fucking complication is.
Yeah,
and they don't want to pay. We saw it last year. We said it last year with Corberan. They didn't want to pay $3 million for Corberan last year. We got Steve Cooper, and look what happened. So
yeah, and obviously as well, just very quickly as well, you look at Potter as well. He was going to cost money because obviously he'd just been basically on gardening leave for the past 6 months with Chelsea, who were paying him a ridiculous contract. So Potter didn't want to come because we weren't going to be able to pay him anyway. So it's all down to money. It's nothing else. So yeah.
Yeah. Joe, I appreciate you calling as always, mate. Much appreciated.
Cheers,
big love
mate.
in the chat as well at the minute. They're saying that you're one of the favourite callers. So cheers for calling. We'll see you again soon, mate. All right.
Yeah, see you again soon. Bye.
All the best. By the way, everybody, just like last week, I do have somewhere to be at 8 o'clock. So we're going to be getting through people quickly, I'm afraid. I just saw something as well. Here you go. This is just a quote from Gary O'Neill a couple of years ago or a year ago, whatever. He said, I'm a head coach. I'm always going to be a head coach. He was linked with Man United and Liverpool. What? When was he ever linked with Liverpool and Man United? Is that a joke? I don't know if that bit's a troll, but he definitely said this because I remember it being said at the time. So maybe he doesn't make decisions on transfers. I mean, I was looking earlier at the transfers that he made at Wolves, and it was just all the Portuguese players, right? It was all, what they do with, what's the guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. The Portuguese agent, anyway. They bring all the Portuguese players, so he probably didn't have much say in them signings. That's probably the best thing for Leicester. Don't give the manager a fucking say, man. Give it to Martin Glover. That's what I say. Give it to Martin Glover. Let him decide who comes in, and then let the head coach deal with it. Because I'm sick of giving managers the say on transfers and ending up with people like Oliver Skipp, basically. So, right, let's head over to our next caller, which is Brandon from the US of A. USA. Let's get in. What's going on, mate? How are you?
What's going on?
All good, mate. All good. Talk to me. It's looking.
I wouldn't say all good. When I woke up this morning and I saw that tweet, I commented on it too. My blood was boiling. I could feel my face getting red. I was just getting angry because I mean, it's more than sad. It's pathetic. It really is, and it's a cowardly way out. I would much rather King. If you don't want to pay, just put King. He's already there. Just put him in there.
Oh, 1 second. One second. Sorry, I think I muted you by accident.
Yeah, I was saying. I think it's just so sad, and it just instead of appointing Wilder or O'Neill, just give it to King. I mean, Wilder, he failed. He bottled it with a superior squad in the playoffs. And O'Neill has failed at Wolves and at Bournemouth. We don't want that at the club. So just give it to King. If you can't get Roll or Dyche has obviously walked away. If you can't give it to Roll, give it to King. But honestly, I'm losing faith with the entire club. I'm losing faith with this board. I said it weeks ago. I was saying I think it's time. I don't think it's time anymore. I think it is time. It is time to leave King Power.
I was gonna say. I mean, is there any part of you that is not excited, but like, is there any part of you not, okay with the if it is Gary O'Neill? I mean, personally, I would prefer Gary O'Neill to Wilder. It's very close for me, very close. I can't really pick between them, but I think I would probably edge for O'Neill.
I mean, if I had to pick between them, it would be O'Neill. But here's the thing, like I said, I think no matter what manager we get, even if we get Roll, it's going to be a struggle for years to come. As long as King Power is here, we're going to struggle. And let's be honest here, King Power gave us everything, but it's not the same King Power. The King Power under Vichai is not the same King Power under Top. Under Top, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. He's off playing polo on transfer deadline day saying that he's going to back the manager when he hasn't, and he's out there minutes before we get relegated having a laugh. Like, look, if you want to have a laugh, go for it. But there's plenty of places not in the public eye to have a laugh minutes before you get relegated. It's just, it screams to me a spoiled, rotten, brat, rich kid that has never been told no. And unfortunately, his dad died, and he had to take over. And he's lost in the sauce and has no idea what he's doing. King Power is failing. Leicester is failing because of it. It's just so sad because I love this club. And for me to watch in the championship, I have to pay. It doesn't come on local channels here. I have to go on LeicesterCity.com, and I have to give them $14 a month if I want to watch every single game, because the games here are aired on ESPN, and they only air like 4 games out of the 20 so games they play every week, and it's random who it is. The last time we were in the championship, I only got to watch a third of the season, so I have to pay to support this mess. And I bring it up. I know I'm ranting, but I think the days of holding up signs of wrecking out and top out are over. We need to hit them where it hurts, and that's obviously the bank account. We need to boycott home games, and I know every fan is not going to boycott going. If I could go to the UK, I would go to a game. But if 10, 15, 20% of fans boycott buying tickets, it will hurt them financially. It will suck initially, but it will hurt them financially when they're barely hanging on as it is. And if we want them gone, it will speed up the process.
Yeah, look, mate, I understand everything you're saying, and I agree with most of it, mate. I mean, it feels like, a plane going over the stadium with King Power out, a banner in the stand, people moaning online. It's not going to do anything, mate. From my point of view, I do think they're going to sell the club. I do think they will sell. We spoke about it earlier. I think they'll probably want to get it back to the Premier League first, because then they'll get the most money, right? They'll get more money for it. But their business is failing. King Power, it's in the bin. They need the money. They need all the money they can get, I think, now. And I could see them selling, but we'll see, mate. Time will tell. It reeks of no ambition at the moment. So it's worrying. But Brandon, mate, thanks for calling in, mate.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. I'll see you very soon. All right, mate. All the best. All the best. Yeah, man. Keep letting us out. I mean, there's a comment here. I mean, be careful what you wish for. I mean, do you not see the state we're in? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's riskier to stick with them at this point. You know what I mean? We're just going. It's riskier to stay with them at this point, man. They've not got a clue what they're fucking doing, man. I swear. Okay, let's not put that comment up, but I agree with you. Actually, I could put that up. It's not nothing that bad. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, mate. Terrence, come on. It can't get much worse. It can get worse. Of course it can get worse, but I think it will get worse with these lot. Do you know what I mean? So, in a year's time, who knows where we'll be at? I'll probably be fucking struggling to pay the staff like Wednesday are. Wish we had more guys like Brandon in this country. Well said, mate. Club could go under. Exactly. Yes, under these it can, Peter. We're a train wreck, says Gray. 100%. 100%. Right. Let's get the next caller in. Just quickly as well, by the way. I don't think... there we go. This is true as well. Yeah, Top now owns the club, doesn't he? It's not King Power anymore. The family own it. So anyway, right, let's move on to the next owner. The next caller, should I say. And that is going to be Ethan, I think. There we go. Ethan, what's going on, mate? How are you?
Good in you. Yeah. I want to be positive this weekend or on this month.
Yeah, we don't want positivity.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
No, honestly, we got to watch some football. We got to watch some of the youngsters. I've been raving about Paige for quite a bit. I expected him to make the team towards the end of last season. So, to get proven right is good. But yeah, no, it was good to watch the match. Everything off the pitch right now absolutely stinks. I woke up today with the news of Wilder or Gary O'Neill, and I said, what happened to Roll? It's too complicated. Paying 200K is too complicated now. You know, it's unfortunate, but yeah. Look, we got to watch some football. Andy King, we saw two different systems from him. Can switch it up. Honestly, my short list of managers is very similar to yours. I'd still try and get Roll. Andy King, if he's up for it, caretaker, and then probably Gary O'Neill as a like last resort. Yeah, King Power Management is in the shit. How's it been this long? We already knew Reed was getting sacked. Why didn't you start at least discussing amongst yourself what type of manager you want? Who's staying? Who's going? I can honestly see probably 4 or 5 players next season leaving for cut price deals or for free. So the whole club's a mess right now, and it's not even the players' fault, right? If the players were all injured or maybe the players aren't up to standard, then we can say it's an on-field issue. But all these issues are off-field, and they should be really easy to be able to be dealt with by top-level management. But top isn't top-level management, is he? So yeah, it's disappointing, but you know, confident about this upcoming season. We saw a lot of the younger guys step up. Just important to note, there was no McAteer, Fatau, or Bilal in that friendly. So imagine if they came back, if they stay with us, we're getting promoted. So the season overall, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it needs to start now.
Did they get beat 9-0? I don't think they do.
No.
That was under Parker,
Liverpool.
right? That was under
Liverpool.
Parker, though, right? That wasn't
really.
That wasn't O'Neill.
Maybe
Parker,
it was against.
Right? I might be wrong.
No, I think it was Scott Parker. Then he got sacked, and then they brought Gary O'Neill in.
Yeah,
maybe.
But I would say that if O'Neill did get beat 9-0, that makes him a perfect choice for Leicester, doesn't it? You know, like when Vestergaard and Bertrand and and Danny Roll was the assistant probably at the time. I don't know. I'm just guessing there. I think he probably was. But look, I mean, let me bring this up, Ethan. Here you go. Wolves under Gary O'Neill in that season, they were 8th in the league at the time for goals scored, but expected goals 17th, final third passes attempted 20th, goals conceded 20th, set piece goals conceded 20th. Bear in mind, this is the same league that Leicester City were in, which makes it even worse, I think. You know, so that's a concern as well, isn't it? I mean, of course, it's slightly different context, Ethan, because he would be with one of the better squads in the Championship, but you know, again, I feel like it's I don't know, man. I get Steve Cooper appointment vibes from this choice.
It's a very short-term appointment, right? I don't think you build a team for the next 3 to 5 years with Gary O'Neill, right? Yeah. It's the same thing basically with Cooper or Sean Dyche or Chris Wilder. You know, all these options are very short-term. So is that maybe a clue into the club just want to get back to the Premier League and then sell? I have no idea. But yeah, I think Wolves was a tough one because they lost a lot of players. I think, who did they sell? They sold, Nathan Collins? And apparently that was a really detrimental transfer. But I think if you have people around him, maybe a really good chief scout, really good director of football, I think you can give him the tools to succeed. He's not inspiring me, you know. I always talk about I want to see an exciting manager with exciting ideas come into the club and make me excited to watch the football. And Gary O'Neill he's just a bit dry, you know. But he's not the worst option. There's always worse.
I was gonna say he's got the what's it called, the turkey teeth as well, which Steve Cooper didn't have. So he's got nice teeth, eh? Gary O'Neill, I'll give him that. I mean, let me get
he's not as handsome. He's not as handsome as Danny Roll, is he?
That's true. That's true. Let me bring this up, mate, because this is interesting. I actually find this quite interesting. He's made it clear in the past that he always wants to just be a head coach. Look, he's had his teeth done since there. Look at that, bloody hell! I've only just noticed the difference there compared to what they're like now. But no, it might be a different direction that the club. I mean, because we've been talking about this, right? The structure at the club, what it should be. You know, we know it's so obvious that we hear these stories of the managers being given too much of a say with recruitment, with squad building. You know, Enzo Maresca, for example, wanted Vestergaard on another deal. We gave him it, and now look at him. Abdul Fattawi was a Martin Glover choice. You know, so we hear these stories. For me, mate, I would much rather go down this route of a club-led recruitment strategy and having a head coach in place. And maybe Gary O'Neill fits that.
I still feel like there's
I'm
people
clutching.
with better.
I'm clutching.
Yeah. I feel like there's still better people to build around with, right? I think you go down the system of a head coach. You want someone that can provide more exciting football, right? I think Danny Roll would be a good one because there's a lot of managers who fit into the same mold of him, right? You just basically ask Red Bull, hey, who's the next big thing, right? Maybe Vardy has contacts, but no, I wouldn't mind it. I think they're appointing him as a head coach because there aren't going to be any transfers. So he'd basically just say, yeah, these players, they're not playing, get rid, and no one's going to come in. And then Andy King will probably say, yeah, Monga can play left or right wing. Page can play as a 10 or as an 8. And that you'll probably see for the rest of the season. Just before I go, because I also need to go, if you could guarantee 3 players leaving, which 3 players would you want gone?
Wout Faes, Victor Christensen, Patson Daka.
Vestergaard and Cody stays.
Patson Daka, if it guarantees us bringing in another. To be honest, I feel like with Daka being at the club for another year, that might the club might be a bit more. They might be a bit relaxed, too relaxed about bringing in a striker. I think if Daka goes, then you have to sign one, right? Or play Jake Evans a lot. So I'm gonna say Daka for that reason. Fast because he's the biggest fucking bozo I've ever fucking seen in my life. Hold on, bozo alert. No. And Victor Christensen, so I just don't have to listen to anymore. To be honest with you, that's
for me, Vestergaard and VK. I think there's value in VK and Vestergaard. Yeah,
one of the Danes. Just get rid of one of the fucking Danes, please. One of them. I don't care which one. Right, Ethan, mate. Thanks for calling in. Much appreciated. Big shout out to you, mate. All the best. We'll see you very soon. Holy shit. Whoever just joined, somebody just joined, and it's so we'll try and get through everybody. I'll try my best. We're going to start speed running people because we're running out of time and we still got loads of people. Right, up next on my list here is Charles from the Dallas Foxes. Where are you, mate? There he is. What's going on, mate? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
All good, mate. All good. Yeah. Considering the news, actually, I'm not in that bad of a mood, actually. I thought I'd be miserable, but yeah, I'm not too bad.
Yeah. You know, zero communication comes out of the club. So it's still gossip. And you know what it is? It's the agents calling John Percy and saying, my guy interviewed and he said he did well. I think that's all it is. I hope they are still going after, Danny Roll. And I think they are. But, based on the last 2 announcements as manager, I understand the Steve Cooper, but the Van Nistelrooy one was really weird. I didn't like that at all. So I obviously don't have a lot of trust in him, but hopefully they're still going after Danny Roll. It's complicated because, the guy, Chansiri, is trying to sell Sheffield Wednesday. So, but, just pay the money and get him out of there. He wants to get out. I think he is sort of out. They just sort of compensation out. If you don't get Danny Roll, I'll go with Andy King. I don't want anything to do with these other guys. They're just old meat. You know what I mean?
O'Neill, you don't want anything to do with O'Neill, or? I mean, he's young.
Out of the others, I guess. Out of the others, but I don't think we're going to go down that road. I hopefully we'll get Danny Roll. I'm still trying to stay optimistic, but anything can happen with this club. Anything.
I'll tell you what. Like, I'm still clinging on, like you. I'm still clinging on to a bit of hope that this is true here. That these names have been leaked by the club, so that it sets the fan expectation like very, very low. And then maybe they deliver somebody slightly better. But then other people have said that's too smart for this club. They wouldn't even think of that because that dumb.
Zero communication at the club. We know this. There's zero communication. So it's all rumors. And that's where I say it's the agents calling, what's his name, John Percy or whoever. And then it spreads like wildfire. And they have to interview. They have interviewed people, 4, 5, 6 people. Hopefully they've interviewed Daniel Roll. They would probably need permission from Chanziri. I don't know. I don't know the contract over there because he's still not been paid. So
I think you have. Yeah, I don't know the full laws, but like I'm pretty sure you have to have permission to speak to other clubs' manager. I think you can speak to their agents. I think you can do that. I think you can speak to the agents. I just don't think
because he hasn't been paid as well.
Well, he has been paid. This is where there's some misinformation online.
But
Chansiri's a madman, but he's not dumb, right? He's a madman, but he's not dumb. So he's paid Roll so that Roll can't walk away. Because Danny Roll is actually probably the most valuable person at that football club, more than the players, in terms of what he could bring in. So they've paid him so he can't walk away on a free, which is why it's making things more difficult. But if you're a serious football club and you're actually ambitious, you just pay the fucking compensation and get on with it, man.
Yeah.
Because what happens if O'Neill don't work out? You've got to pay him 2-3 million in a year's time or 6 months' time because he's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If not, persuade Andy King. But it doesn't sound like he, after the Peterborough game or something, he said they're talking about, I'm prepping for the new manager. Perhaps they haven't talked to him. Perhaps they should talk to him. Perhaps he doesn't want it.
He's doing that Lee Carson thing that he did with England last year, where he just acts like he don't really want it. That's what Lee Carson did with the England job.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't know, really. It's interesting. I think we'll hear something this week. Definitely.
Well, you'd hope so, mate. This is what I was laughing at here with this. Have I still got it here? Where is it? This one here, I think it is. I mean, they hope to appoint later this week. I bloody hope so, mate. It's Monday. They've got 4 more. They've got 6 more days left of the week. Like you'd expect.
You got.
I want someone in by Saturday, by the next friendly. Maybe even if
you'll have no hair, you'll have no hair left. You'll be pulling your hair out every morning, waiting for that thing.
Man.
Just relax. It's a little workout.
Yeah, man. I've been losing sleep.
Maybe it's the other one that we don't know. Somebody else they interviewed that nobody's ever mentioning. That could be a wild card as well. We don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, Charles, mate. Sorry, I'm going to let you go, mate. We're going quick time now. So
prayers for all those children down in Kerrville. The flooding down there that we had.
Yes.
There's still 15 kids they're trying to find, and they've gone probably. But there's I think 85 dead and 20 odd kids who have passed away. The Guadalupe River raised 26 feet in 45 minutes.
Crazy.
Absolutely
nuts,
crazy.
mate.
Crazy.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah. All right.
Horrible stuff. Yeah. Thanks, all mate. Right. Thanks for calling. We'll see you very soon. All the best, Charles. Cheers, mate. Right, let's have a look at my list. My list is nearly finished, and then we're free for I don't know what I'm fucking trying to say here. We're going for it after that. Right, let's have a look. We've got Ross, and then we'll head to everybody else. So Ross first. Here he is. Say his name, and he'll appear, and all of that good stuff. What's going on, mate? How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm just a bit tired. Oh, I'm not now. Okay.
How about you do me a favor, Ross? How about you just sit down and stay still for a sec? For one.
Give me a sec. I'm sitting on top. I'm going top at stairs because my nephews are watching me on the TV. So
you give me motion sickness every time you're bloody on, mate. I'm like, okay, now where am I today? Sainsbury's or Costco or in your kitchen, in your fridge? Right.
I'm sat at top at stairs. My nephews are watching me on the telly. So
perfect.
No,
what's going on, mate? How you feeling about all the news?
Wow. Well, where do you begin? I mean, obviously, at the start of the news, you've got obviously regarding Chris Wilder. Then it was Gary O'Neill. Then Sean Dyche, Danny Roll. Gordon Ramsay, the head chef. Like just Sheffield FC manager's probably going to be in the frame. We're after Sheffield Wednesday's manager. We're after Sheffield United's former manager. Sheffield FC probably going to have to put a statement out saying their manager's not for sale. Just it's a world, and then Gary O'Neill. So honestly, it's a proper circus. It really is. And So, the comment, it's Ross from Sheffield. Can't have Kingy, he's not linked with Sheffield. Yeah, we were on about it earlier with Final Whistle. You know, people say, I said about Chris Wilder, if Danny Roll doesn't come in, I wouldn't personally mind having Chris Wilder as well, only because I don't mind Chrissy Wilder, to be honest. No, say hello, Ollie Joe.
Well, of course you wouldn't. Hello.
Where's Tommy?
No, go downstairs.
course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't mind Wilder, mate, because you're one of them, aren't you? You're up there. You're up north.
No, I only say that. Right, no, let me tell you why. So we have a habit of having legends from the Steel City. Nigel Pearson was a Sheffield Wednesday legend, and he became one of our best managers that we've had. We had Jamie Vardy, also from Sheffield. He turned out all right, I suppose. So people from the Steel City do a good job, and they did a good job Wilder at Sheffield United. If it went for the points deduction, I think they would have. And let's not forget.
Wow, the point.
Listen. Let's not forget. Not just that. Also, they had Hamza Chat. When you brought in Hamza, he's probably one of their best players. So, and also before Harry Suter got injured, he was one of their best players as well.
Chris Wilder and Hamza Chowdhury are also with Wasserman, the agency.
Okay,
both of them. Wilder signed him twice. Wilder signed Hamza twice at Watford.
Oh, that's my other nephew. Say hello, Tommy.
Fucking hell, how many fucking nephews you got, mate? Hello.
I've got two.
Sorry.
No, I'm putting them to bed in a minute, but they want to watch me on YouTube. So
Manny's always telling me off because when I'm on the phone to Manny and I swear he's like, my kids are. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. No, but on a serious note, though, I mean, would it be a big when someone says, "Oh, well, I'll be disappointed if we get Wilder." End of the day, we can't always get what we want these days. End of the day, Danny Roll is. I was listening to Radio Sheffield earlier, and obviously it's a lot worse than we realise. We should put a compensation fee if we do go down that route and pay that compensation fee. That it's going to pay some staff at Sheffield Wednesday, and that there's a potential sale there. Apparently, there was on about Chansiri selling up, and obviously Sheffield United fans are still not happy that Wilder went. End of the day, he's not a yes man. He will say it how it is. That's the thing. So personally, listen, I just want to make it clear. I want Danny Roll as number one, but if that doesn't happen, I want Wilder is a plan B. Obviously with this Gary O'Neill stuff, to be fair, I seen it. Somewhat you put it up earlier when Gary O'Neill, when he was at Wolves, were below Leicester. Prior to it, he was also below us when we were at Bournemouth at one point.
Well, here it is, mate. Look, here it is. Look. Let me bring it up. There you go. That was how he was doing in the league prior to his sacking. So yeah, not good. Ross, mate, I'm gonna have to interrupt, mate. Gotta go because I'm with Final Whistle soon.
That's fine. No worries. Take care.
Final Whistle. Right. Anyway, cheers, Ross. See you soon, mate. All the best. Okay. Quick couple comments before the next caller, which is going to be Chris. Gary O'Neill is a yes man, and Wolves fans hate him. Well, we're going to get a Bournemouth fan on soon. We're going to get a Wolves fan if it materializes, if it actually happens. We'll get both of them on. Smash a like and subscribe. I'm smashing the content. Yeah. Ross brought to you tonight by the Sheffield Tourist Board. Right, no, it's terrible. I'm bad at whistling, mate. Right, up next, Chris from Leicester Till I Die. Let's get him in. Now, Chris, when I was watching your show the other night, and obviously I was on one as well, you were like, no, don't go anywhere near this Gary O'Neill. Where's your head at right now, mate?
My head's...
You're on mute. Oh, yeah, got you.
My head's right up my arse at the moment. I mean, what is this loving with Gary O'Neill? I mean, I live
there isn't any loving. There's no love. I haven't seen anybody love him.
Well, I'd sooner have Wilder than O'Neill. I'd sooner have Peter Taylor than O'Neill. I mean, O'Neill is absolutely awful. They couldn't wait to get rid of him from Bournemouth. Yes, and I did make the mistake. It was Parker that lost 9-0 to Liverpool. Gary O'Neill was his number two, though, because he took over from him. He was fucking shit at Wolves. Why do we want him? I mean, it's it's the final straw.
Are you sad? Are you sad Dyche is out, mate? I bet you're gutted Dyche is out the race.
I was actually asked this morning. No, I was asked this morning a straight question: who I want in, and I said I want Edin Terzic. But if we can't get him, then I have to go for Danny Roll.
Oh, look at that!
What I said earlier was, I mean, I don't want Chris Wilder, and I don't particularly want Sean Dyche. But if they went down that road, I could understand it. I just don't see what the logic is in going for Gary O'Neill. What has he ever done? What has he proved? What can he bring?
I'll tell you why, Chris. I'll tell you why Gary O'Neill's the front runner.
Tell me why, Locks. You tell me why, mate.
I'm cheap. My agent is Western. I'm cheap. That's why they've gone for Gary O'Neill, mate. That's exactly why they've gone for Gary O'Neill. You look at the names out there, Chris. Danny Roll, Sean Dyche, Chris Wilder, Gary O'Neill. 100% Gary O'Neill is the cheapest option out of them. He will be the cheapest. He will, no compensation. He'll have less wage. He'll demand less wages than Sean Dyche. He'll demand less wages than probably Chris Wilder. That is why we are going down the Gary O'Neill route.
Do you think the club has held on to make the appointment now? Look what happened when it was being announced that we might be getting Russell Martin. The away fans were going mad and chanting against him. If they appoint Gary O'Neill or Sean Dyche, whoever it is, they've got no fans to worry about, have they?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. Tell me if I'm wrong. From what I'm seeing online with my own eyes, I don't think that the reaction to Gary O'Neill isn't actually. It's not as strong, is it, as it was to Russell Martin? I don't think. I feel like more people kicked off with Russell Martin than they are with Gary O'Neill, which worries me. That means the board will probably think, "Ooh, they want him."
Well, this is it. I mean, there's no games for the fans to go along and protest at. There's going to be no chanting. There's 500 people at the training ground for a match. They're not going to cause a lot of noise. So I wouldn't be surprised if they hadn't planned to do it this way. But yeah, online there doesn't seem to be as much noise. And I'm surprised because if you put in Russell Martin as the bad manager, you can't put Gary O'Neill as a good manager.
Well, Owen put this tweet out. Obviously, I'm sure you've already seen it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Chris. Obviously, I know you do bits to the BBC. I think the BBC are a bit more reserved. They don't just throw themselves into rumours. So this could be old news or outdated. It sounds like Dyche and Roll are out of the picture, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, we just don't know, do we? It's like what he said earlier. It's all agent talk. I mean, I messaged Rob Tanner a couple of days ago when the Wilder thing first came out, saying, like, is there any truth in this? And he said, I would be amazed. The last I was told was Top wants a young, up-and-coming coach to play the style similar to Maresca. I was told Roll and Dyche unlikely, Roll too expensive to get out of Wednesday, and Dyche would want total control.
Sounds like a copy and paste job from what he sent me, to be honest.
Probably, in fairness, we all go to him, don't we? We all go to him. But, I mean, is Gary O'Neill up and coming? No.
Well, he's younger than the others. He's younger.
Well, I mean, not being awful. My granddaughter's younger than him. Should we give it to her? She's only 6 months old. I mean, and what you said about John Rudkin's dad pulling out, maybe his mum should have swallowed.
Whoa, bloody hell. There we go. Look
sorry,
at that.
I'm not. You may have guessed I'm not an O'Neill fan. I did threaten to go to support Nottingham Forest if he got the job, so who knows? And I tell you what, if he's appointed, this is the club. It's how to say that your club is a joke without saying your club is a joke.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I said it a few times today already, though, Chris. But it just shows how far we've fallen, right? How far we've fallen. That I know people don't like Brendan Rodgers, but you compare Brendan Rodgers to Gary O'Neill, for example. You know what I mean? We
won things with Brendan Rodgers, didn't we?
Exactly, and this is the thing as well. It's like it's not even the name at this point either. It's like I think it's just more the ambition. Like you could go and I mean, Manny always says it, and I don't want to go into this too much, but Manny always says go and find somebody from abroad. They could have done that. I mean, Terzic, you talk about, right? That's somebody from abroad. It's a bit more. That's that's more ambitious than Gary O'Neill. So, yeah. We'll see, mate. We'll see what happens. It's a nightmare. But right, I'm going to let you go, Chris. All the best, mate. Thanks for waiting.
All the best, mate. Take care.
Cheers, Chris. See you in a bit, mate. Right, we've got 17 minutes. This is a race against time. Let's get up next. It's going to be Mark. Mark is going to be on next. Let's get him in. What's going on, mate? How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. Yourself?
All good, mate. Talk to me. How are you feeling about the manager situation?
I'd rather it have been Wilder, but never mind.
Oh, you'd rather Wilder to O'Neill. Why is that?
He knows how to get teams promoted.
He's got experience of that. Gary O'Neill has never got a team promoted. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, I'd rather Dyche. I'd rather Russell Martin. I'd rather Wilder because they've had teams promoted." Gary O'Neill's never done that, has he?
No, and struggled with Wolves in the Premier League last season. So,
yeah, sacked by Wolves, sacked by Bournemouth, sacked by Leicester. Next, maybe, I don't know.
By November,
it could well be. This is what we keep saying, though, Mark. It's like they don't want to pay compensation, right? They don't want to pay compensation for Wilder, for Roll, but they might end up paying double, triple that if they go for someone like O'Neill and it doesn't pay off, and they've got to pay him off in a few months.
Yeah, because obviously he's going to sign a 3-year contract or something like that, isn't he? So,
well, that's all they do. That's all Leicester City do. They give out 3-year deals like they're nothing. Recently, big wages, 3-year deals,
and can't afford Danny Roll. That's an interesting one.
Well, he's obviously linked with. He was rumoured. The release clause was £5 million for Premier League clubs. However, the rumour is that that's dropped down to 1 million. For Championship clubs. So you'd think Leicester City would be able to pay that.
I would have thought so, but
yeah. Last thing I want to ask you, Mark. This one here. Look, what do you make to this? Gary O'Neill says he's a head coach. He's always going to just be a head coach. We've heard things about Steve Cooper, having a lot of say when it comes to signings, when it comes to recruitment. What do you think to this? Do you think Leicester City are best not giving managers too much of a say with signings?
Well, probably, but the person that has the say is not very good either, Mr. Rudkin.
Well, yes. He's the one who signs it off. Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. I mean, ideally, you have a recruitment team, a scouting department who make the decisions, right? Because that's their job. Martin Glover, I'm in total agreement. Yeah. I totally agree.
Just going back to the bottom of that graphic, that never happened, surely. Linked to Liverpool and Man U.
Now, yeah, this can't be true. I'm just doing a little search here. It can't be true because Wolves. All right, I'm reading here the BBC. There is reportedly there's no interest. Sorry, there's no truth in reported interest from Manchester United, but is honoured to be linked to the club. So yeah, he apparently he was linked. And he said it was rubbish, but yeah, it did happen. So anyway, Mark, thank you for waiting so long, mate. First time caller as well. Your first time calling, so make sure to call in again, mate. All right.
Okay. Cheers.
All the best, Mark. Thanks so much. See you very soon. Let's look at some of the comments. Our last 3 callers are Ryan, George, and Greek Fox on the box. First time caller. So let's go through some of these comments. Please take Danny Roll. Here's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Please take Danny Roll. We lost all our home games. End of season tactics lousy and runs away and hides when things start to get problematic. I mean, sounds like copium to me personally, but who am I to, I'm just saying from my point of view. As far as I'm concerned, Danny Roll came into Sheffield Wednesday, rock bottom of the Championship, with the worst or the joint worst start to any Championship season ever. Kept you up and then took you to 12th with an awful squad, an awful owner, and now he wants to leave because you've got a transfer embargo for 3 transfer windows, and you're probably going to get points deductions, although so are Leicester, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I think he did a pretty good job, to be honest with you. But I understand your complaints. We had the Wednesday fan on the other night who did say that he downed tools when he didn't get a move to Southampton, so that's obviously a concern. But yeah, that's true, Sean. Yeah, Forest fans said the same to us, but yeah. Anyway, right. Sounds like they're entitled to me. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's true. Yeah. Right. Okay. Up next is did I say Ryan? I think I said Ryan. George. Sorry, George. Up next. Let's get him in. What's going on, mate? How are you?
How you doing? Yeah, good. Thanks, Locks. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on.
Yes, mate. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I was sort of accepting the downfall, to be honest. But now is like the perfect time for a reset. Obviously, we got rid of Rude. Obviously, the option was there to potentially keep him, see if he could do a job in a lower division. But I guess it did go a bit sour towards the end, so it's probably the right call. But I think the only manager on this shortlist who is of any interest to me is Danny Roll, because he hasn't been sacked. All the other managers have been sacked. He's the only one who, like you said there, is got Sheffield Wednesday out of. It looked like they were set to be relegated. Like the first time they got up, season before last. It looked like they were doomed to go down, and then all of a sudden, like they got safe, and then they had a decent mid-table finish, which I don't think most Sheffield Wednesday fans would have been complaining about. And at the end of the day, he's obviously tried to keep it as stable as possible there, when it's not very stable behind the scenes. So I think that's something we need. We need some stability. I think it's probably the most important thing we need right now, especially with the 12-point deduction looming over our heads and potential, business plans and transfer embargoes, what have you. We don't know yet. Obviously, that will come in the next month or so. But yeah, out of all the other options, the only other option, I mean, Daesh was the only one out of all the others who I was like, maybe. But obviously that today with more of the rumours coming out about O'Neill being the front runner, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think Daesh isn't going to drop down to the Championship. I think he's going to wait for a Prem relegation battle or something along those lines.
That's what it sounds like at the minute. Like it sounds like he's dropped out. And I know I saw something from Tom Colomos actually, who did say something along the lines of, there's a belief, or Daesh has a belief that halfway through the season he could get a Prem job, firefighting again, which he does best.
Exactly that. I mean, he saved Everton. Like they look like, obviously the year we went down, we should have stayed up that year. The first time we got relegated in 23, we should have stayed up and they should have gone down realistically. If it weren't for a few, errors on the pitch, but it didn't happen. We obviously bounced back with Enzo, and I think Top will want Danny Roll. Is my belief, because he fits the bill as an up-and-coming manager who wants to play, expansive football. Whereas your Darshys, your Wilders, I just can't see any old-timers getting in. I hope, like you said, Gary O'Neill's, the only reason he's on the list is because he's cheap. I don't he's been sacked from every job, but he did a decent job at Bournemouth for a bit. We have to remember that. To start, he did get them in a better position.
And then Ollie got a fucking Solskjaer, somebody said.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't hate it.
I'd say you take him over all the others except Roll. I'd say Roll would still be above Ole Gunnar Solskjaer personally, but out of all the others, you'd take him over who all the others were rumoured to be linked to. Oh, but it's just a mess, isn't it? It's like I was listening to, I think it was the stream yesterday. It's like, why have they taken so long? Like, why are they interviewing people this week, in the past week? It should have been done a month ago, 2 months ago. Like, why is it taking so long? I just don't understand. Like, imagine if
the
it,
7th
like an
of
actual
July,
business,
78 days since we were relegated. 78 days.
Yeah, like imagine, like, say a business, right? They know they're going to go bankrupt or something, and they're looking for a new CEO. Obviously, King Power, they found a new CEO. Why haven't they done the same? Like, they've got like a new sporting director and a manager in, or something changed. Like, this should have been done 2 years ago. It should have been done when we got relegated the first time. We should have got people in management or involved with running the football club side of things. That should have been sorted 2 years ago with the internal review, which doesn't seem to have happened. It was just a load of bullshit that they put in to, like, sort of pander to the fans who just believe anything. Oh yeah, they've done a review. Yeah, things are going to be fine now. And now look, it's gone shit again, and it's probably worse now than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because we've, like, it gets on my nerves. Like, you just sort of like feel like I got my season ticket when we went down the first time. I managed to get it because obviously people would have got rid of theirs when we got relegated. And now coming back, last season, that's the worst season I've experienced as a Leicester fan.
Yeah,
easily. I think that
it was
in my
horrible.
lifetime. It was the worst season of my lifetime.
All those games without scoring a goal.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying there about a reset. Like, it's quite clearly needed. I just don't know if Gary O'Neill's the answer for that. But,
Oh no, he's not.
but
I don't think King Power's the answer.
That's true. That's true. It's above the manager at this point.
It's sad to say.
Yeah.
They've
I think
brought
it's
us
coming to the end.
I do. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Right, mate. I'm gonna let you go, mate. Cheers for waiting so long and coming on, mate.
Yeah,
Much appreciated.
nice
Hopefully you'll
No
join
worries.
us again next week, mate. All right. See you in a bit.
All right.
All the best. Right. Last two of the day. We have we did have I thought there were three. Yeah, Dimitri's gone. Okay, let's move on to Ryan. Where's Ryan? There he is. What's going on, Ryan?
I'm okay, mate. How's you?
Yeah. I mean, I was fine at the start. I feel like I'm getting worse because speaking to all of you lot, you're making me depressed. You're all negative. I'm the positive one for once. No, I'm joking. What do you make then, mate? How are you feeling about O'Neill and Wilder?
I'm totally not inspired by these two choices at all. How am I supposed to be inspired by these two? It just doesn't fit the philosophy of the club. It's the fact that Danny Rose is no longer in consideration now, I think, is a joke.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't even pay compensation to get him in, I think, is appalling, and it sums up the state of this board. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been reading about Sheffield Wednesday, and I've just seen that Henrik Pedersen, who was the assistant, who was very highly rated, linked to the Brentford job as an assistant, and all this stuff. He is looking likely to stay on at Hillsborough. He was spotted in Hillsborough this evening as Sheffield Wednesday make progress in their attempts to extend his stay. Hope is that he'll be back contracted to the club in the near future. So, they're doing what they can to keep hold of him. But from the looks of it, I think Danny Roll just wants nothing to do with them at Sheffield Wednesday, which should have made it
he
easier
is gettable. It should be easy for us to go and get him, but yet the club can't even pay. Was it £1 million in compensation? They said. I mean,
yeah,
it's absolutely stupid. Seriously, if we can't even get a Sheffield Wednesday manager, what does this tell you? This sounds like these two candidates, like Gary O'Neill and Chris Wilder. This has got John Rupkin rubber stamped all over them.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the Sheffield Wednesday fans left another comment. As a Wednesday fan, I do wish you guys all the best, but I predict if you sign Danny Roll, he will play fast football, wingers, and pacey. what happens is his style of football will lead to injuries. But that style of play sounds good at least. Should we not view Roll as a red flag the way he wants out? No, I think the way he wants out is completely understandable. I mean, we talk about how bad it is at Leicester. It's a lot worse. Honestly, it's a lot worse there, man. They are truly mudded right now. A 3 transfer window ban, points deductions, not paying players. I mean, I don't even know. I honestly not got a clue who would want that job. So I know that.
But bearing this in mind, us and Sheffield Wednesday are the only 2 Championship clubs technically now yet to sign the player.
Yeah, and sign a manager either.
And a manager.
They've obviously got him contracted, but it's unlikely. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Have you got any positives about Gary O'Neill? Any positives at all?
I think there's only one that I can think of. Just one. But apart from that, it doesn't, even Gary O'Neill don't inspire me. The only thing that I can say positive about him is that he integrates the youth. And which is what we've always said, that's what we wanted, right? And that's seeing kids being given the opportunity from the academy. So at least he'll probably give us that at least. But I just look at his style of football, and it's not good.
Yeah, mate, I agree. I agree completely. I've just seen a comment here that somebody said, Big Ange. I mean, I'd love Big Ange, but it ain't going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. Although they did only finish two places ahead of us this season.
One place above us.
One place, yeah. So maybe it is obtainable. I don't know. Right. I've got to let you go, mate. Sorry, we're getting through everything. There's one more caller. We'll see you very soon, Ryan, mate. All right, all the best. Okay. By the way, everybody, don't go anywhere because when we do finish here, there's a live redirect. If anybody knows what a live redirect is, I've put them on the channel before. You guys watching will be redirected straight over to Final Whistle, of course, where I will be. Right, last caller of the day is Greek Fox in the Box. Is he Greek? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Let's get him in. Here he is. What's going on, mate?
Right, Locks, how you doing?
You don't sound Greek.
No, I am. Don't worry, mate.
What's going on, mate? How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
All good. Well, what are you thinking, mate? What's your mindset with all the manager situation, man?
Do you know what? Like me, we're not in the best position. That's all I'm gonna say. And we've got a new Rob Dorset bomber here. Former Wolves manager Gary O'Neill has emerged as a front-runner to become the new Leicester City head coach as the club's bosses narrow down their search for a successor to Ruud van Nistelrooy. O'Neill and the ex-Sheffield United manager Chris Wilder are now at the centre of Leicester's thoughts, Sky Sports News has been told. Sean Dyche has ruled himself out as a candidate, and Leicester's bosses have decided against Danny Roll because of the complexity surrounding the financial and legal predicament at Sheffield Wednesday.
Where have you read that? Where is that? Is that on Sky News or something?
Yes, on Sky News, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that's like a bigger version, right, of what we heard earlier from Dorset, the tweet. Okay, interesting. So it does sound like Dyche, Roll out the question. I mean, that's is it? Who was Roll your first choice or?
Yeah, Roll was my first choice. Like things he did at Sheffield Wednesday was actually very good. Like his squad, the squad that he inherited was not a very good squad. He kept him up twice. I mean, what else can you really say?
Yeah.
And Gary O'Neill, Gary O'Neill was like only one positive. He done all right at Bournemouth, but then got sacked.
Yeah. I mean, he's been sacked twice. Obviously, I mean, he when Scott Parker was sacked, he went in as interim. He kept them up, and then they sacked him. Right, they sacked him after he kept them up, and then they got Iriola, who did very well, obviously 9th place, and then at Wolves, he did. I mean, he did well in the first year. Second year, again, sacked. I don't know if you remember, mate, but, they were below Leicester. Their players were scrapping on the pitch at full time, getting sent off. I remember one of them, was it Cunha? It might have been somebody else, hit like an Ipswich staff member in the face. it was chaos. It was chaos at Wolves in the latter days of Gary O'Neill.
Do you know what? I'm not inspired at all by either of them, and I think there's two things are going to happen. Like the first thing that's going to happen, we're not going up. It's going to be like more of a rebuild season, play some of the youth, but we're probably not going to go up. And secondly, younger fans will be like less likely to go to Leicester games now because like we as younger fans want like quicker football, like when the manager to be adapted to the modern game as well. And like Gary O'Neill and Chris Wilder just screams like Brexit ball.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying this, but I spoke to Sheffield United fans love him, right? Sheffield United fans love it's same as the Burnley fans love Sean Dyche. The Sheffield United fans love Chris Wilder, and mate, look at the other managers they've had. I mean, somebody in the comment section said, "Oh well, Chris Wilder had us playing the best stuff I've seen in years at Bramall Lane." I mean, look at the fucking state of the managers they had in place before Chris Wilder. Obviously,
to be honest, it wouldn't be a hard job to produce the best football at Bramall Lane.
Exactly, this is what I'm trying to say, mate. But I think our standards should be higher at the end of the day. That's where I'm at, and nothing stops the club from making another Enzo Maresca type signing, like
true that.
Not even a big name. It doesn't need to be a big name. We're talking about Danny Roller. He's really highly rated because of his experience as a number 2 with some great managers. His revival, if you like, of Sheffield Wednesday, but. Like nothing stops you from go. I take the piss out of Manny on the channel for saying stuff like Carlos Cuesta and Willie Caballero, but there's people out there. There are assistants out there, left field, who want to become managers, who play more of a modern, forward-thinking style of play, and Leicester City just don't think that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. That, and like when you go to the Championship season, like when Enzo set us up, it was good football. Like we can ignore like how he had like 10 losses, but it was good football nevertheless. You couldn't really complain about it. Younger players were excited, older players were excited, and that sort of football just unites the fan base as well, and pulls more money into the club. Like staying on the topic of Danny Roll, like his compensation would be like 1 mil. Like the 1 mil would be pretty much nothing the moment we get promoted, whether it be on autos or by playoffs, because it's going to be like 1 mil compensation for 100 mil, 200 mil pounds in profit. Exactly. And going the Premier League in a much better position.
I agree completely. Yeah, this is the baffling thing in it. They didn't want to pay 3 million for Corberan. They didn't want to pay $1 million for Roll, but they'll happily give.
They didn't want to pay 3 million for Corberan. We've just lost hundreds of millions of pounds by going down.
And they paid they paid like 3 million sack Cooper and Rude. You know what I mean? And they were happy to pay 8 million for Ayew. They were happy to pay 20 million for Skip, but they weren't happy to pay 3 million or 1 million for Roller Corberan. It makes no sense to me, mate, to be honest with you. But look, mate, thank you for calling in. Thanks for waiting so long. Much appreciated. First time caller. Nice of you to join us. Hopefully you'll join us more often, mate. All right?
All right. Have a good one.
Man. All the best. Cheers, mate. Cheers to you. Caller of the night is going to Greek Fox on the box. First time caller. He was up for it. He said a lot of things that I agree with, and hopefully he'll come on more often. Although you can go one step further, Greek Fox in the box. Get your camera on next time, mate. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. So we've got a live redirect set up. We're gonna get redirected straight over to Jack's channel, The Final Whistle. We're gonna be live there in about 4 or 5 minutes. He's delayed it just for me. What a nice guy. So yeah, we're going to redirect. When you get redirected, it will not be live because he's not live yet, but the comment section, you can interact and I'll be on there in a few minutes. So hopefully we'll have some more news soon. We'll be live anyway, regardless, on Wednesday night for Fox's Den, but I've got a feeling we might be live tomorrow at some point as well. So we'll take care. See you very soon. All the best. See you over on The Final Whistle in just a sec. Thank you to today's sponsor, Match Bingo. Over 200 grand has been paid out to players so far by taking sports betting, football and bingo and combining them into one brilliant app. Make sure to get your bingo card for any Leicester game in the upcoming season by clicking the link in the description or via the QR code on screen.